So I'll be honest, I didn't expect to wake up today only to see a trailer for a new Paper Mario game. But here we are, with a new game coming to the Nintendo Switch, Paper Mario the Origami King. And with my favorite game of all time being the Thousand Year Door, I do have my own thoughts on this. For now, this video will be an analysis of the trailer. I do have a lot to say about the game, especially with the series' current track record, but I'm going to save most of that for another video. So let's get right into it. First of all, wow, this game is visually stunning. There was a time where Paper Mario only meant parts of the world were made of paper. The release of Sticker Star started to change that, with basically every part of the world being made of some sort of paper or cardboard. At that time though, my issue was how the game seemed to rely on this paper mechanic a bit too much, with gimmicks to interact with the world. It felt very two-dimensional, pun definitely intended. I was a firm believer of the old style used in the first two games, but after seeing this trailer, I'm happy to say that has changed. The game looks absolutely stunning with its use of the paper theme, with the textures, reflections, and even lighting. It's definitely become my favorite style of all the games. To me, the visuals have now reached the peak of the Paper Mario series. It's pretty clear from the footage that this is the beginning of the game. We get a glimpse of the castle and Princess Peach, who has transformed into an origami form. Basically, the equivalent of her being kidnapped, and it's our job to save her. The next couple shots give us more information for the story. Many of the world's characters have transformed into origami and turned on the others, imprisoning them below the castle. We get a shot of poor Bowser restrained by a clothespin. He's all folded up, and the shadows show a Koopa being dragged away by Shy Guys, perhaps to become one of them. Since Bowser is here, my thoughts are that the game begins in a plot with Bowser once again trying to kidnap Peach, only to be interrupted with his minions turning into origami. The other possibility is that both castles have been overrun, but later shots will prove otherwise. We get a glimpse of the game's antagonist. Nintendo's site does confirm that this is the Origami King, named Ollie. Some flashy flash stuff happens, and several ribbons appear to wrap around the castle. The website refers to them as the giant streamers, which are under the king's control. We have 5 different colored ribbons here: green, yellow, red, magenta, and blue. If we think of the Zelda series, and that these act as a seal, there's a good chance that each chapter will consist of destroying one of these ribbons, weakening the seal. There's much more evidence to imply this later on. It's worth noting the shot of what will probably be the main hub of the game. There are several paths leaving the town, presumably to the game's different worlds. Some of these include a mountain path, docks, a cable car, and one to the south. A Shy Guy comes to the rescue and saves Mario, Bowser, and a third person who Nintendo states is King Ollie's sister, Olivia, who joins forces with Mario and Bowser to stop the invasion. There's finally a shot of some gameplay, and it's definitely reminiscent of Sticker Star and Color Splash. It's most likely the first world, and the usual HP is shown in the top left. Below it is an icon, and every shot of the trailer shows this item bag. What I found interesting was this chest at the back. It reminds me of the first few games, and while I've played Sticker Star, I can't remember if they kept chests. We get our first close-up of the town around Peach's castle, specifically the main square, and there's a giant paper mache-styled Goomba destroying the buildings. What I find interesting is the circular seal stuck on its back. Either it's there to show the enemy's weak point, or perhaps all the bosses have these stickers attached to them, kind of like how the crowns in Sticker Star transform normal enemies into the bosses. We return to what I assume is the same place seen in the first shots. The moment where Mario meets his new partner. If we fast forward the trailer, we get to see the events which happened before this. There's a panel on the ground that Mario can use for an ability, kind of similar to the Thousand Year Door. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more of these panels, and all the abilities are based off of the origami mechanic. It's worth mentioning that the site only references this power, the arm extending 1,000-fold arms ability. I'm not sure if that means it's the only power he'll get or not. The wording sort of implies it. After that, we get a look at our first partner? While I do have hope that battle partners will make a return, this appears to be a temporary companion solely for the story. Unfortunately, this game also suffers from the generic character design, but if the writing is good, then I'm sure it won't be a huge issue. Also, remember that cable car in the town? I have a feeling that's where we are at the moment, most likely heading to one of the game's worlds. And this leads into a mountain level. The grass is very lawn, but I'm pretty sure the Bomb-Omb is following you around. There's a couple signs in the distance, but I can't make out what they say. An enemy appears to be hiding in the grass. I'm pretty sure it's a Shy Guy. What's interesting is the top left. Like the other games, we can upgrade our HP. Some may take this as the classic leveling system returning, however both Sticker Star and Color Splash let the player up their health. And those two games did ditch the flower points and badge points. I noticed this new icon above the health though. It looks like a 1-up or Ultra Shroom. Not too sure what it means. Maybe you can use it to temporarily up your maximum health. The next shot confirms the return of 10 and 100 coins which were introduced back in Sticker Star. More generic toads, unfortunately, but this appears to be a sort of minigame where you avoid getting hit. I mean, I assume that's what the 5 hearts mean. Lose all those and it's game over. Some basic controls at the bottom, including one which throws confetti. And we're given 2 familiar faces, Bowser Jr. and Kamek. It again reinforces the premise of both sides teaming up to take down the new antagonist. Honestly, it feels very refreshing. Last time we saw this happen was Super Paper Mario. And before I get into the next footage, I just have to say that the Mushman picture on the wall is nightmare-inducing. I have to say that this trailer does a great job with the creepy factor. I know that the last game had to do with paint literally getting sucked out of characters, but this is somehow even more horrifying. This is also one of the reasons why I think these partners are only story related. In this case, we have an Explorer Toad or even Captain Toad, and I highly doubt he would be involved in any battles. This place resembles an Egyptian tomb. In the shadows is what appears to be a toad with no face. There's a screenshot of Mario dancing which pretty much confirms this. All those toads have no faces. You can also see a glimpse of the Explorer Toad here. Also, it's kind of sad that I refer to these characters by such generic names. I mean, Explorer Toad? Seriously? Okay, so there's a lot going on in this shot. Mario is seen riding in what I call the Bootmobile. The scenery, in addition to Pokies, makes it clear this is in a desert. And to the left of the screen is a structure which may be the location of the previous shot. Some sort of tomb, like a pyramid. There are a couple of glowing spots on the ground that look exactly like the ones in Wind Waker. It might be buried treasure, but the real interesting details come from the sky. It looks like a solar eclipse might be happening. Perhaps we're here to return the sunlight to the desert. And there's one of the ribbons in the air. I assume the goal is to travel through the desert to undo what's happening with the castle. Same goes for the other 4 colors. I think I can see a Buzzy Beetle and Bullet Bill cannon in the distance, but I'm not 100% sure. There's a quick montage of a few events: a giant boulder, paper airplane attack, and wheel. The background gives us a brief look at the save block. And of course, we have another panel where Mario is using his 1000-fold arm ability in the town. It looks like some motion controls will be implemented into the game. Once again, the site implies this will be the only power, but used in different ways to solve the puzzles. At first I thought this was supposed to be some chance game, but we have 5 pipes surrounding one in the middle. Both the numbers and colors of the outside ones match the ribbons, so this is most likely a fast travel method to the different worlds. I'm guessing pipe number 6 is the final level or something. Nothing really happens in the next one, it's just fishing for a giant Cheep Cheep. But the following clip is very interesting. We finally get a look at the combat style. In fact, it's a new one. It looks like you're supposed to line up as many enemies as possible. Doing so will give you a boost in attack. There appears to be a limit on the rain moves as well as a timer. Apparently you can also buy time. We get a quick glimpse at some of the worlds, and I have to say this oasis-like town looks fantastic with the lighting. Another screenshot proves it is the same world as the previous footage because that familiar eclipse is in the sky. We then get a look at what appears to be an overworld in which you traverse by boat. You most likely get here by traveling to the dock of the town. Some controls at the bottom that stand out are Open Sea Chart, Boost, Dive, and Return to Town. We're sent back to the chamber where Bowser was contained. You don't see him much in this trailer, so he might be a temporary partner. The next shot gives me Bowser's Castle vibes. It could also be in a volcano. Either those are enemies that spit fire, or they're some sort of moving statues. The trailer then cuts to a look at the basic combat, and On the bright side, the crowd from TTYD makes a return. Currently, Mario is using the shiny boots attack. The real question is it an item similar to the stickers and cards of previous games? Or is it a return to a more classic combat style? I found a screenshot of the new rotating battle and got someone to translate it. The text to the left says actions, and below it is Mario's boots and Mario's hammer. And the lower white square is a description of his boots. Ordinary boots used to jump on enemies. This is actually a good sign. The attacks aren't looked at as items, like stickers or cards. Instead, it's a normal jump and hammer attack. The icing on the cake? The one on the right translates to items. While we still know very little of the game's combat, it looks like a mix between the two. It's still too early to say, but I do have hope. We also have a dojo-styled location with a bunch of origami ninjas. Mini-boss, maybe? A screenshot of the outside part of the dojo was also shared. Since the bomb partner is with us, it might be a level of the mountain world. Next part's kind of bizarre. A character made of string? It looks like the same sticker seal on the Goomba. This emblem must be tied to the bosses of the game. Another picture shows several on the blooper's tentacles and eye. Maybe they are weak points. The paper airplanes seen before are now attacking Bowser's airship. This is a rare case where everyone is present. We have Bowser, his son, Kamek, their minions, Mario, and Olivia. Not much else to say here. I do wonder if there will be a sky-themed world. Here we have another giant enemy, which is kind of difficult to make out. It appears to have a shell, but I'm not sure if it's a normal Koopa or possibly a Mecha Koopa. Finally, we have a shot of what's most likely Peach's castle. The website confirms that the streamers that encased it had moved the structure to the mountains. There's a glimpse of chains for what I assume is the drawbridge. More importantly, the shadows show blocks being stacked on top of each other. Final boss, perhaps? And of course, the biggest shocker, a release scheduled for this July. That's only like, what, 2 months from now? A part of me won't be surprised if we don't get any more news on this. If you haven't noticed already, I went over a bunch of information on the site that wasn't necessarily explained in the trailer. I have a feeling this was supposed to be in a direct where we would have gotten more information, but thanks to the you-know-what, they had to release it separately. There is one last shot at the end. It's a fun little Metroid reference. On the shelves, we can see giant heads of a Goomba and Donkey Kong, and what appears to be a folded up Toad in the trash bin? Maybe, maybe not. So yeah, that's basically the trailer. There are some additional screenshots of the game provided by GameXplain, and I'll go over them very briefly. First of all, some enemies. Origami-styled thwomps, Mario dancing with some Shy Guys, and a giant chain chomp. I noticed a floating island with a giant tree in the distance, not sure if that's one of the levels or it's just there for the sake of scenery. One of the most interesting images happens to be this one, what appears to be a shot of the town, with the classic letter from Peach to Mario. It's most likely part of the introduction to the game. And was this letter sent from the real Peach, or was it a trap set up by the Origami King? And of course, Luigi in a cart. Did not think I would see that. In regards to the ribbons, we see a red and magenta ribbon in 2 different worlds, similar to what was seen in the desert level. I assume Mario is following their trail to find the source and destroy it. I do like this swampy level with the piranha plants. These worlds look genuinely good. Last shot worth mentioning is atop the castle. I'm wondering if the Shy Guy beside her is King Origami, and that this is just before he summons the streamers. The introduction of this game might be making your way up the castle from the jail and escaping from there. Also, a similar Shy Guy is seen here. Could it be the same one? And that's about it. Final thoughts? I'm both excited and concerned. Only 2 parts of the trailer showed off the combat, and they were incredibly short. It's as if Nintendo purposely kept it minimal because they know of our complaints of Sticker Star and Color Splash. Either they chose to withhold some information to surprise us later, or because they don't want to admit that the game has a bland combat system. For now, I have hopes that it's the former. I've only played around an hour of Color Splash, but just comparing the trailers of both, this one looks better overall. I am looking forward to playing it in July, so we'll just have to wait and see. I myself have a lot of thoughts and opinions on this game, which I do plan to delve into further in another episode. For now, thank you for watching this analysis of the new game, and if you enjoyed, then make sure to subscribe. I've been NintendoBlackCrisis, and I'll see you all next time.